a video of me kind of planting up the different herbs that I bought. With spring coming, herbs are probably one of my favorite things to have on my patio. So I got a couple of different ones this last weekend, I think, at a nursery. So I just thought it would be fun to maybe do a video of me potting them and maybe telling you guys like what my favorite herbs are and what they're good for. So let's just get started. So the first one I'm gonna pot up is a peppermint plant. I got 2 of them because I wanted kind of a fuller pot, and I love mint and I use it in a lot of different things. So I just got a couple of them. So I'm just gonna put them in a bigger pot, like a 10-inch one. So I just have a tote that I have dirt that I've mixed together. So I'm just going to take my cup and start filling my pot up. With mint, it's one of the herbs that grows really well. It's really hardy. Like, I know last year I forgot to water it several times and it looked like it was gone. But I just watered her, and like that evening she had came back. So like they're very easy to, they're probably one of the easier herbs, I think. With mint, you do not want to put mint right into the ground, because, or even like plant it with like other herbs or other like any other plants that you want to plant mint with, because they spread like wildfire. So I recommend potting them by themselves. I have seen where people take like a pot and like dig a hole big enough or deep enough to like fit their pot in if you want the look of it in the ground. So they just dig a hole deep enough to set the pot in, and then they go ahead and pot their mint, and it looks really nice. But I'm just gonna put it in a pot, and then whenever it warms up, set it on my balcony. So I just filled my pot almost to the top, and I am just going to pop it out and kind of loosen up the dirt. These roots are very hardy, so just kind of, you can kind of break the bottom up, it's fine. Just kind of take your fingers and kind of break it apart just to loosen up this dirt where it's been in the nursery pot. Once you have it pretty loosened, I'm just going to kind of take my hand and make a small little hole and set it in there, and then kind of just fill in around it. I'm making such a mess. And then I'm going to take my other one and do the same thing. I just love the way that mint smells, and it's just like a really pretty herb, I think. It looks really good. Plant it on your balcony. So same thing, I'm just gonna take my hand and dig a hole, oops, and just set it in there, and then just fill in the dirt around it. And then it just kind of looks like that. And then I'm just gonna take my little water can and just kind of give it a little bit of water. And there you go. For my mint, I like to go kind of big on the pot size because it does spread so easily, and like I said, I really love mint. I have some really nice spearmint plants. So I filled my dirt to the top, or pretty close to the top. This is kind of a big pot, so same thing, just kind of shimmy it out of its nursery pot. And then these roots, as you can see, are really compact. So like I said, just kind of gently loosen them up. These are very hardy plants, so it's okay to kind of get in there and kind of break up their root system, because these things are so hard to kill. So once you kind of have the roots all kind of broken up, just kind of dig your little hole and plop it down in there, and then just kind of fill in around it. I've been going to make this video for the last several days because I got these, I think like last weekend maybe, and they've just been kind of sitting, and I was kind of getting worried because I hadn't watered them, and so some of them started kind of wilting. So I thought today would be a good day to do it. This has a good root system. Just stick your hand in, dig a little hole, and set it down in there, and then just kind of fill in. If you need to, you can go in with some extra dirt and kind of fill in around it, but I think those look fine. So then you have your spearmint. Just gonna stick one of these little tags in it so that I know what I have, and water it. And there you go. The next thing I have is another one in the kind of the mint family. It is the Silver Dollar eucalyptus. I love eucalyptus. I think it smells so good, and it's just really pretty too. Like, some of the leaves are kind of like a light bluish green. So my soil has a lot of leca mixed in with it, just because I think just an old random pot full of leca just kind of sitting around. So I had just kind of dumped it in I use like a little tote to let me see if you guys can see there. I just use a tote to kind of mix my dirt in. I use like I just use regular potting soil mixed with like orchid bark and or leca. You can use leca just for some like extra drainage. And then I mix in some worm castings, and I think with this one I mixed in a little bit of like charcoal pieces just to kind of help with drainage. And then, so for the eucalyptus, kind of the same thing, just plop it out of its little nursery container. These roots are crazy too. Most of the dirt came off of this one, so just dig your little hole. Oops. And then just set it in there and just kind of fill in around it. And there you go. And then I'm just going to kind of top her off with some water. I've never done lemon balm before, but this year I wanted to do a lot of different pollinator plants for my balcony, because it's just really good for the environment to have like all kinds of pollinators. So I had seen where lemon balm was really good for pollinators, so I went ahead and got some, and I'm going to just do it in another, just an 8-inch pot. So for my pollinator mix, I have a couple of pretty big pots. So I just went and got some different wildflower seeds that attract, I think I got like a bee pollinator mix, and then I think I got like a bee and butterfly one, and then I think I got a hummingbird mix. So I planted them a couple of weeks ago, and they are starting to come up, so that's really exciting. I'm hoping the weather will start getting nicer to where my living room isn't full of just random pots of different seeds. And they can go out on my balcony. So once you just dig your little hole, just set it in there. This one actually looks really good in this pot. I have this balcony planter that I had kind of intended on using for some strawberries, but that's not going so well. So I'm just gonna kind of take out my strawberry plants that I had planted because they just died. Every time I try to get the bare root strawberry plants, literally never works. And I do it every single year because I'm too impatient for the baskets of strawberries to come out. So I just get the bare roots thinking that maybe I can do it this year, but as you can see, I cannot. So that's another thing kind of though, like some things you could be really good at a lot of plants, but then there are a few plants that no matter what you do, how much you research, it just never works. So unfortunately, bare root strawberries are that for me. I'm really excited about these different varieties that I got because they're not the typical ones that you usually see. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Tulsa area, but Southwood Nursery is like my favorite nursery, and I'm always like really excited at the start of spring because they just have like the best selection of herbs and vegetables, different fruit trees that are just, I think they're just really, really cool. So I was really excited that they got their herbs in and had them all set up. So I got several different varieties. I'm just kind of taking my little shovel and kind of just mixing around in this dirt so that it's broken up and not so hard. So this year Southwood had like a bunch of different varieties of herbs. So I got a few that I've just never tried before and that just looked really intriguing. So the first one is this really pretty variegated oregano. Look how pretty that is. So I'm gonna just, same thing. Wow, I was really worried about these being dry because I have not touched them since I got them, but this one is like soaking wet. So aside from like mint, you can plant a lot of different herbs together. It just kind of depends on if they are super aggressive spreaders. So I'm just gonna start at the end and make a little hole and just fill in around it. I'm gonna go in with rosemary. So this one is a barbecue rosemary. I have literally never heard of that one. So rosemary is good for so many things. So I got this one. Oops. And I'm just going in and kind of breaking up the roots just like that. I think I'm going to go in with this variegated lemon thyme. So it's just like the variegated oregano. Like it's really pretty. Like you can see, if I can get them to stop shaking, how pretty the color is on this. I just really like the variegated types because of just how pretty their foliage is. This is another one that's like soaking wet. So it must have just gotten watered when I bought it. And then once you have it loosened, just set it down in the little hole that you dug. Oops. And plop her in there. Okay, I can probably fit about one more in here, so I think I'm just gonna do my other rosemary because my last two are ones that I kind of want to pot by themselves. This smells so good. And we're done. Look how pretty that looks. So I'm just gonna kind of top them off with some water. And this is gonna look so pretty on my balcony. Like it has the little, kind of the little slats where I can set it on my balcony. I think for the lavender, I'm just gonna go with the white. And this is a Goodwin Creek lavender. So once you kind of loosen the roots up, just dig your hole and just set it down in there. This one actually looks super cute in here. And there you go. Oops. Dropping some water. Just top her off with a little bit of water. And then the last one that I have is a sage. And I think I'm gonna use this yellow pot. So this one I got because I thought it was really pretty and I just thought it would be really cool. So this one is a golden sage. Look how pretty these leaves are. I just like the little patterns on them. So then once you get it loosened up, just kind of make your little circle, or your little hole, I mean, and just plop her in there. And there you go. I think once it gets more of its yellow leaves, it'll be really pretty in this yellow pot. They're all potted up and they look really good, so I'm really excited about that. Now I just have a mess everywhere. And of course, the lovely plant hands. So I will probably keep them in my plant room until it gets pretty warm outside. I've been kind of taking the ones that I planted by seed and setting them out in my balcony, the first part of the early morning so that they get a little bit of sun throughout the day, and because it's been like almost like close to 80. So I try to keep them out during the day, and if it's gonna be up in the upper 50s, I leave them out. But the weather has been so crazy that I've started bringing them in at night because I would just want to give them the best shot. So with the seeds, I think I got a bunch of seeds. So I planted several different wildflower mixes. I did another sage, another lavender, catnip, some basil, some oregano. I planted some coneflowers because they're really good pollinators. I planted a couple of veggies. I did some spinach, and I think I did a cucumber plant. So I mean, we'll see. I don't really know how that's gonna work out in an apartment, but Trent wanted to give it a try, so I mean, why not? I also have some cherry tomatoes growing in our Aero garden. So I will probably do another video on that, probably in a couple of weeks. But I just thought I would jump on and just plant my herbs with you guys and kind of tell you like what's going on and what I have planned. I'm hoping to be able to post some lives a couple of times throughout the week. Just some various like tutorials and just kind of showing you guys like an update of like what's going on, and if there is anything that you guys specifically want me to talk about, feel free to message me or comment on the group, and just let me know. And I think it'll be so fun. But I think that is it for tonight. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.